So recently I have picked up some pretty exciting stuff. We had that whole Jazwares Vaults like limited edition line. I don't really know what that means, but basically it's a new wave of Halo figures, which for me is pretty exciting because Halo's dead right now. I need something. I need substance. And as you can see, I've got the Noble 6 and Elite Zealot 2-pack. I've also got the Tartarus and I think it's Prophet of Mercy or Truth 2-pack. I can't remember which Prophet that is, but it's the one that comes with the Prophet. And then I also got the Halo 4 Master Chief. But today I do just want to focus on the Noble 6 and Elite Zealot 2-pack. Of course, this is from Halo Reach, my favorite Halo game. Taking a look at this packaging, we got a very nice image of both the figures on the front. Turning around, there's just more pictures of the figures. There's the back. And basically the way these open up is you just undo the Velcro and there they are. So it's very similar to the NECA packaging if you've ever got a NECA figure before. And just take a look at that. Don't they look so beautiful? So I've got Noble 6 out already, and I just want to say he already looks really extremely good. Of course, these figures are going to be looking a little bit weird because it's from Jazwares. They aren't as caught up as the rest of the world is. We're still using gigantic ball joints like right here. That looks kind of ugly, but I think for the overall standard that we have for Halo figures, like what we've gotten in the past with McFarlane and all that, it's not a very big deal to me because we never really had perfect Halo figures, unless you want to consider like those really expensive ones. I'm mostly just satisfied with how good the paint apps look on him. The helmet looks perfect. Everything else looks really good. So it's just exciting that we've got a good looking Noble 6 figure for a good price too. They are not going to be top tier figures. I've already been taking a look at the articulation. That's as far as we get on the elbow, folks. That's not even 90 degrees. So it's going to be rough. And I tried getting the legs out of the Elite dude and he just ripped in half. This might not go well. There's his upper body. So it's just a ball joint. It's not like it's broken. But the fact that that does come undone so easily is just concerning. It's a tiny bit concerning. First of all, what I'm noticing the most with this Elite is that his joints are very loose. Can barely get them to stay in place. They don't really wobble around, but they feel very, very loose. I do think this is a nice looking Elite though. I really enjoy how he looks. The paint is really nice. I love the colors. The sculpting is really good in my opinion. So I think overall we're going to be getting a good Elite figure here, but let's not come to a conclusion too soon. Let's go ahead and dive into these figures and see what they're all about. So I think the Noble 6 is pretty nice. The sculpting and the paint is really what's going to make this figure good, because as we've already established, the articulation is not that great. I think the hips are decent. You do just get a ball joint down there. The knees got a double hinge on them as well. So the ankle articulation, you do get ankle rockers, you do get back and forth, but they're kind of stiff and they don't have a whole lot of motion going on there, so that might be a problem later. The torso should just be an ab crunch with probably just like a ball joint in there, which is why I'm getting literally no movement. So like that movement that you're seeing a little bit is coming from the hips, so just like that's the ab crunch we're dealing with. And like no side to side whatsoever, so that's bad. The shoulder articulation is not very good either, considering how gigantic the joints are. You know, maybe you'd think that like we'd get something special here, but no, it's just an up and down, in and out. You know, it's just a rotating ball joint. Very not great. And the elbows, you know, as you saw before, don't even go to 90. I don't even think, okay, you do get a ball hinge on the wrist, so there's a little bit there. Swivel, of course, that's okay. Head articulation is basically non-existent. You do get a side to side, but I'm getting no up and down unless the joint is just like really stuck. I'm not getting any side to side either. This is not moving, which is also not good. Let's see if I can get him to stand up and look decent in a pose or something like that. So he doesn't look too bad right now. I do think that the ankle articulation could be better because he's just going to be a little bit wobbly. Probably don't want to put him on the shelf with the other figures yet, where he's going to fall over when there is a slight shift in the walls, because I have monsters in my walls. And then he falls over and knocks everything over. And then I spend 30 minutes redoing the whole shelf. I don't want to experience that any more than I already have. But I think he's a decent looking figure. Bad articulation for the most part, but I think he looks cool. And, you know, for me, that makes me like it. Because articulation is very important. It's very important to me, but as long as you get the bare minimum stuff on there, the thing that I care most about is how the figure looks, the sculpting, the paint. Is it an accurate representation of what we see in the source material? I think so. I think this captures a Noble 6 pretty well. In terms of accessories, all we get is his assault rifle, just a bit of yellow paint on there. I think there's some different shades of gray in there as well, and it looks pretty good. It's just the Halo Reach assault rifle. I wish it was a bit of a darker color. The whole thing, it gives me really good Halo Reach vibes, so that's why I like it. It's nostalgia pretty much, and bias. So that's going to be my point of view. The knife cannot be taken out of the sheath on the shoulder, pretty disappointing, but you can tab the rifle. The rifle has a peg hole that you can put on the back right there, so you can store that if you want to. And let's take a peek at this Elite. Let's take a look at what he's got going on. The leg articulation is just obscene. It's crazy. He's an Elite, so he's going to have weird shaped legs, and there's going to be a lot of different joints in there. So we got, I don't know if that's a ball hinge or like whatever, but there's a hinge right there, and it can move around. The range of motion isn't too bad. It's just very loose, and it's moving with like every single like touch that I have. Like it's very sensitive, you could say. Ball joints at the hips, gonna be kind of hard to gauge how good they are based on like how an Elite should be moving compared to a human being. If I can get him standing up, if I can just get him standing up properly, which looks like it might be a challenge, in a timely manner, this is the best that I could do for him. And he's probably gonna fall over soon. It's that leg articulation is whack, man. I'm not very happy with it, to be honest with you. So there's that leg articulation, and you do have, I think, there's a ball joint at the torso, which is just falling apart, and I guess there's a swivel there underneath it as well. The shoulder articulation, there's too much armor, so you're not going to get too much there. Elbow also does not go 90 degrees, and there's a hinge at the wrist with a swivel as well. The head articulation, I think the only articulation there is, and I'm just going to detach that because it just wants to fall off, is going to be right there above the neck. So like, I think that's just a ball joint, and that's really not that great because there's just not a whole lot going on there. So overall articulation on the Elite is cheeks, bro. Like, it's bad. I hate to be saying that, but it's not that good. What is going to redeem this figure, once again, just like with Noble 6, is how it looks. I think it looks really good. I like the paint on there a lot. Could do with some more, but I think the helmet looks really nice. You can see the eyes in there. You can see the mandibles. There's the lights and everything. You can see the teeth. I think it is a pretty good looking Elite, just visually speaking. Overall, I do kind of like the figure, but definitely needs some work. And he does come with a weapon that's going to be the plasma grenade launcher. I'm sure that's not the proper name for it, but you know, it's the Covenant grenade launcher from Reach, and it's got that golden color on it. It looks really good. It's got a lot more paint apps than the assault rifle, and I like it a lot. And let's see how it fits into his hand. He's going to be holding it right here probably. Dude, he's just not wanting to hold it. Don't you love that when they make a figure and he can't even hold the weapon that they give him? Isn't that awesome? Isn't that what you want? All right, so that's really the best I can do for getting him to hold the weapon. Let's see if he can. I'm not even going to try getting him to hold it with both hands, but that's pretty much what you got. That's what you got. And it's depressing. I'm depressed right now. You've got this stupid little armor piece on there. Looks like it was chewed on by a dog. It's just, ugh. It's a disappointing figure. You've got very lacking articulation. He can stand up. You're probably not going to be able to pose him around a whole much. I guess he looks cool. I guess he's a cool looking guy. And that is pretty much going to do it for this video. That was the Jazwares World of Halo Vault Edition Noble 6 and Elite Zealot from Halo Reach. I do really enjoy how both of these figures look, and I think at the end of the day, they are okay figures, but the articulation is severely lacking on both of them. And I think that's just a testament to, you know, like how expensive figures are getting these days, because you can pay like, you know, 50 bucks basically for like a 2-pack of Vintage Collection or Black Series, you know, from Hasbro, and they will have pretty decent articulation, they will look okay, and they'll like be actual functioning figures. But then you look at this, which I think is like 30 bucks, probably less, for a 2-pack in the World of Halo line from Jazwares, and you get two figures that may look pretty good, but functionally speaking, you know, when it comes to articulation and just being a good action figure, they aren't that great. I wouldn't say they're terrible. They're not as bad as something from like Mattel. I hated a lot of the Mattel figures, but they do have very lacking articulation, and the only redeeming factor about these is that they look good. They give me really good Halo vibes. Like when I look at them, when I see them, I'm like reminded of Halo Reach, and I get like warm feelings inside, so that's good. I feel like they captured the essence really well, but when it comes to the functionality of them being action figures, they just do not hold up. So that about does it for my review. Hope you enjoyed. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.